been said, you can fool some of the people some of the time. All of the people some of the time. Some of the people all the time. But you cannot fool all the people all the time. This is especially true with children. Tim and I were talking about this yesterday. How children are instant truth detectors. They can see past the fake, see through the fake pretty quickly. It's kind of like pre-adolescent spidey sense, I think, is what it is. There are certain people who have certain senses that are just not fair. That feminine intuition thing, oh man. That, you'd think I would learn. Okay. When Kim has a bad feeling about something, what day is it today? Second? In 10 days, it's our 21st anniversary, okay? So we're like 21 years into marriage, and for all the stupid moves on my part, when she has a gut feeling about somebody or something, and I'm like, come on, it's not that bad. And, I'm almost getting a taste in my mouth for humble pie. I've eaten it so many times. It's not good. And so it's amazing how kids, in the same way, like that feminine intuition's out there, kids have that truth detector. They can see right through the fake. And I don't know when it is that we lose that. I don't know. Maybe because kids are less worried about how they look, that they actually observe other people better. Because once we get to a certain age, all of a sudden we start to worry what we look like and what people think of us. And then we get to a certain age where we just quit again. I think it's just right around 45. So it's funny, but we don't care anymore. But when kids don't care, maybe that's why. I don't know. If you want to get a government grant and do a study, you can come here and serve a camp for multiple years. Thank you. All right. Anyway, it's interesting how kids can sense that they truly can. The challenge we have in ministry is to love with authenticity, especially when we're working with kids, because they won't let us get by with anything other than that. And if we want to see what authentic love looks like, we go back to the love chapter. 1 Corinthians 13. Now, we all know what the most often quoted part of this chapter is, starting in verse 4, but it talks all about love is patient, love is kind, love is all these things. What's really interesting is when you read through that, you can, wholeheartedly, I encourage people to do this, exchange the word love for the name Christ. And you will get a very clear understanding of who Jesus is, because he is love, right? So you see, Christ is patient, Christ is kind. But if you flip to the first part of the chapter, we see the need for authenticity. Because Paul says, if I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers, understand all mysteries, all knowledge, and I have all faith, so as to move mountains, but not love, nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I mean nothing. There's the challenge for us to be authentic. There's a challenge for us to show love. Notice what this is. These are powerful things that Paul's describing in 1 Corinthians 13, but without love, they're absolutely useless. In fact, they are annoying. Why is that? Because Christ is love. And if we are not going to live out Christ's love, we're not going to last or be effective in fact, be annoying when it comes to ministering to children. Paul addressed this in 2 Timothy 3, and I invite you to turn there. 2 Timothy 3, we're looking at verses 6 through 9 this morning. In 6 through 9, Paul says this. And this is just right after finishing up the challenge. Basically, talking about these people in these difficult days, having the appearance of godliness but denying its power. And then he says, avoid such people. Verse 6. For among them are those who creep into households and capture weak women, burdened with sins and led astray by various passions, always learning and never able to arrive at a knowledge of the truth. Just as Jannes and Jambres, whatever the pronunciations are, opposed Moses, so these men also oppose the truth. Men corrupted in mind and disqualified regarding the faith. But they will not get very far, for their folly will be plain to all, as was that of those two men. If we're not authentic with love, we won't last. Because love is the foundational motivation for the gospel. Because love is the power of God on display. 1 John 4, 7 and 8. Beloved, let us love one another, because love is from God, and anyone who loves is born of God and knows that. Whoever does not love doesn't know God, for God is love. Now, to clear something up, we can't fall into the trap of thinking of love as soft or weak, because love is powerful. There is great power in love, more than we can imagine. It is, I don't even know if this is the word, unimitatable, or what would that word be?
Inimitable.
Inimitable. Inimitable, okay. You didn't just speak in tongues, did you? Oh, but yeah, I got off and back. Anyway. Okay, so we can't imitate false gods. You think about this. Is Allah a loving God? Buddha doesn't want anybody to experience love. Okay? Because Buddhism, in its purest form, will only last one generation. Because you're basically supposed to rid yourself of all emotion, so you can live in this, this state of mind. You think of all the false gods of the world. Is there ever any that they would say is a loving God? Why not? Because love is so powerful. Love is so powerful, and it can only come from God. And so when we are challenged this, anyone who does not love is not of God. That's the real test. That's the spidey sense the kids are feeling. This person's not loving. No. That's a clanging cymbal that hurts my ears. Love is not only powerful, love is transformational. It's been said, people will not care how much we know until they know how much we care. Why is that? Aren't we hungry for knowledge? Do people care how much knowledge they can get from us? They care more how we make them feel. So there's something, it's interesting, we talk about love, we talk about truth, and we can go back and forth on this battle. Okay, well, we need to bring truth, or we need to bring love. Which one is it? The answer is yes. But here's the deal. Truth is found in love. Because Christ is love. But what does he say in John 14:6? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Christ is love. Christ is truth. And we can't come to this place of truth without coming to this place of love. It doesn't work. Because he is truth. So those who are not open to him will not be able to settle on the truth. We see that in 2 Timothy 3. Always learning, but never able to arrive at a knowledge of the truth. They couldn't figure it out. When people seek their own truth, they are in fact rejecting Christ for who he says he is. When Jesus says, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free, he was not referring to, boy, if you can't figure something out, eventually you're going to know this, and there will be freedom and knowledge. No! In that passage, Jesus said, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's later when he says he is the truth. So what is Jesus telling us? You'll know me, and I will give you freedom, because I am the truth. In the end, those who love Christ and live in his truth will be plain to see. Our deeds will show people that the truth is at work in our hearts. Now, we are not called here just to be really good people to these kids. We're not called to be just really good people in life. instead, and we've talked to the kids about that, we want people to just be so drawn to Christ through the lives of our kids. And that's our heart's desire. Not that they're just good. And the same should be for all of us. I mean, that's my prayer for each one of you. That's my prayer for myself. And I ask you to pray for me. That people would look at me and say, this is a guy who is not just a good person, but this is a guy who is so in love with Jesus that he can't shut up. He'll keep talking and talking and sharing, and he comes with passion. That's what I want people. I want them to be true about me, not so that I can look like a good person, but that people would see Christ. And that should be our prayer for each other, that we be pointing others to Him, that we be shepherding the hearts of these young hearts, these young campers. Oh, what a tremendous opportunity that we have. I know people in ministry who don't get to do a solid week of ministry to people like this. I mean, you look at the most powerful, just last week, met with my mentor, Dave, and he was saying that it's camps and it's retreats that all ministry leaders are saying that are the most powerful program tools that they can have. Why is that? Because we get to live with these kids for a week. We get to pour into them for a week. When I was youth pastoring, I'd get my students for 2 hours a week. That's all I got. And that's if they showed up at both events each week. And I felt like I was getting nowhere with them. We get these guys for 24 hours a day. And we can pour into them. And we can show them love and show them the truth together in one. And shepherd their hearts and show them who Jesus is in an authentic way. We get an opportunity to disciple them. Now, I've just been hit with this in the last week. Tim and I were talking about this last night. We can disciple them before they're saved. Why? We're not going to assume salvation on them, but we're going to keep pouring the truth of who God is and challenge them on what growth in the Lord looks like. All the while, keep sharing the gospel with them. Bring them to the place of receiving Christ. That's what we're going to do. And so we're going to pour into them, and pour into them some more. And our lives will give validity to what we are saying to them with our love. And our words of truth will give context to the love that we share with them. We've spent yesterday and today looking at those who have not come to a knowledge of the truth but have gone away. Well, today I really want us to take a look at each one of these kids and see it as redeemable souls. Recognizing that the love of Christ grows, that they would recognize the love of Christ growing in our hearts, and the truth of Christ in our actions and words. And may we love and speak truth to them with authenticity today. Father, thank you for your truth and for your love. Help us to live in those today. Lord, thank you for this tremendous privilege that we have of shepherding the hearts of these young ones. May we make the most of every opportunity today. And Lord, I pray we'll spur each other on toward loving good deeds, encouraging each other all on